People look at you today, 20 years later, and they still have no idea what you're about. Tell me in a sentence who you are.
Nobody. I'm nobody.
Hospital.
Do you think you'd murder me, Joe?
Yes.
That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible.
Yes, it is.
And you don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place.
I hope I never do either.
Imagine sitting there, listening to the confessions of criminals who committed horrifying crimes, but some of their confessions are even stranger than the crimes themselves. What goes on in their minds? What pushed them to do such things? In this video, I'll reveal the most bizarre and astonishing confessions ever made by the world's most notorious serial killers. Get ready. What you're about to see and hear will make you question everything you thought you knew. Aileen Wuornos was an American serial killer who murdered 7 men in 1 year. She claimed they had attempted to assault her. Wuornos worked as a sex worker and targeted her clients. She was apprehended in 1991 and sentenced to death. This was one of her interviews before her execution.
Yeah.
You killed 7 men.
Yes,
and
you
I'm
did.
asking you, what got you to kill the 7 men?
And I'm telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
Not everybody is killing 7 people. So there must have been something in you that was getting you to do that.
Oh, you are lost, Nick.
I never hated men, but now I do. I mean, not all. I have a category. I hate those male... God. I hate those male...
Arthur Shawcross, also known as the Genesee River Killer, was an American serial killer. His criminal history began in 1972 when he murdered 2 children. He was imprisoned, but released after 14 years. Subsequently, between 1988 and 1990, he killed 11 women in New York, most of whom were sex workers. He was apprehended in 1990 and sentenced to life in prison. When asked about how he committed his crimes, this was his reply.
Do you remember killing her?
Yeah, possibly. We're not going into details here.
No, but how did you kill her?
Probably strangulation.
How do you know when they're dead?
How? I don't know, just do. More or less after they just relax. The body relaxes, it doesn't fight no more. It only takes about 4 minutes, probably.
4 minutes?
Sometimes less than that.
Charles Manson was a cult leader in the 1960s who founded a group known as the Manson family. With his charismatic personality, he convinced his followers to commit horrific crimes. The most infamous of these was the murder of a pregnant famous actress and 6 other individuals in 1969. His objective was to ignite a race war, a concept he named after a song by a band he admired. He was apprehended in 1970 and sentenced to death. These were his responses to the charges leveled against him.
Remorse for what? You people have done everything in the world to me. Doesn't that give me equal right? I can do anything I want to you people at any time I want to, because that's what you've done to me. If you spit in my face and smack me in the mouth and throw me in solitary confinement for nothing, what do you think's gonna happen when I get out of here? Guilty.
20 years later, and they still have no idea what you're about. Tell me in a sentence who you are.
Nobody. I'm nobody. I'm a tramp, a bum, a hobo. I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine. And a straight razor if you get too close to me. Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
Joseph Kallinger was arguably the most disturbed of them all. One look at him, and you'd know he suffered from a severe mental illness. Joseph became a serial killer with the assistance of his son, Michael, in 1974 and 1975. They murdered 3 people, one of whom was a family member. Joseph had profound psychological disorders and experienced hallucinations, believing he had a divine mission. After killing a certain number of people, he would then kill his entire family and become a god. He was apprehended in 1975 and sentenced to life imprisonment. This might be the strangest interview you'll ever see.
You murdered your own son?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that?
He was a sacrifice. I was to murder 3 million people on planet Earth. And he was a sacrifice to see if I could murder one of my own. At the end of murdering all the people on Earth, I was going to murder my own family and then take my own life and become God.
What do you think of the death penalty?
I'm opposed to it.
The state has no right to take your life, but you can murder other people?
I don't think anyone has a right to take a life.
Except you?
When I'm under hallucination, I do.
These voices from God, these hallucinations, do you still experience them?
Yes, I do.
Often?
Often.
Do you ever feel violent?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel like doing?
Killing people.
You still feel like killing people?
Yes.
Describe the feeling that you get when you feel like killing people.
Well, last March 11th, I was hallucinating, and I took a razor blade and I cut a man's throat.
Here in the hospital?
Here in the hospital.
Do you think you'd murder me, Joe?
Yes.
That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible.
Yes, it is.
And you don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place.
I hope I never do either. I would probably do the same thing all over again.
What would you do?
Try to murder everyone on the planet Earth.
Richard Ramirez, infamously known as the Night Stalker, was an American serial killer who terrorized California between 1984 and 1985. He was linked to approximately 14 murders, though he claimed the number was higher, involving brutal acts of assault and torture. Ramirez reportedly followed satanic rituals and was meticulous about leaving satanic symbols at his crime scenes. He was apprehended in 1985 after being chased by citizens in the street and was sentenced to death in 1990.
Did you kill 13 people?
It would be improper for me to comment on my LA convictions and on my pending case here in San Francisco.
Why?
Because of my appeals.
Are you appealing these because you say you're innocent? You didn't kill 13 people?
That is correct.
You didn't kill 13 people?
Again, it would be improper for me to comment in any regard to that question.
Why on earth would you have hurt those people? Why did you kill those people?
No comments. No comments. I cannot answer that at this time. As far as Satan is concerned, I believe in a malevolent being. His description eludes me, but I have felt powers that are evil. I don't care about myself, really. I don't care about what happens to me. I never did, really.
Jeffrey Dahmer, notorious for cannibalism, committed his crimes between 1978 and 1991. He murdered approximately 17 men, engaging in depraved and horrifying acts, such as retaining and dismembering their bodies and even consuming parts of them. He was apprehended in 1991 after one of his victims escaped, and he was subsequently sentenced to life in prison.
I had these obsessive desires and thoughts wanting to control them, to, I don't know how to put it, possess them permanently.
And that's why you killed them?
Right, right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me. And as my obsession grew, I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons. I started reading pornography, going to the bookstores. Eventually that led to frequenting the gay bars. And then one time I brought this young man back to the hotel room, the Ambassador Hotel. Was just planning on drugging him and spending the night with him. Had no intention of hurting him. When I woke up in the morning, he had a broken rib here, was heavily bruised. Apparently I had beaten him to death with my fists.
And you have no memory
I
of it?
have no memory of it. But that's what started the whole spree all over again.
Why did you photograph them?
It was my way of remembering their appearance, their physical beauty. I also wanted to keep if I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons. And I even went so far as planning on setting up an altar with the 10 different skulls and skeletons. I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started, eating of the heart and the arm muscle. It was a way of making me feel that they were a part of me. At first it was just curiosity, and then it became compulsive. Then I tried to keep the person alive by inducing a zombie-like state. That's what I deserve. I deserve death.
No matter how strange or shocking the confessions of these killers may be, we must remember they are criminals who lost their way. There is no excuse for their actions. We recount their stories not to sympathize with them, but to reflect and learn. Evil exists, and sometimes it appears in unexpected guises. Our role is to be aware, to steer clear of darkness, and to not follow the path of evil. May God protect us all from its harm. If you like this video, please show your support by liking and subscribing, and stay tuned for more content from us.